Karnataka government has now decided to scrap the 4% quota for Muslims in the government jobs and education, which was criticized by the Supreme Court, which said that the move appeared to be on a highly shaky ground and also flawed. The top court said that on the basis of the documents, it appeared that the foundation of decision-making processes was highly shaky and flawed, and also asked the government as to why it couldn't have waited for the final report before taking this decision. The court questioned the rationale behind the step, which was, remember, announced on the March 24th, just weeks before the state elections on the 10th of May. The petitioners had argued that the Karnataka government had violated the constitution, principles and equality and secularism by discriminating against Muslims. They also claimed that the government had not conducted any study or collected any empirical data to justify the same. Harish, my colleague, is joining us on the phone line. Harish, it looks like that the decision by the Bommai government to scrap the Muslim quota is coming back to haunt it. Now, of course, the court has criticized this decision. Take us through some of the big observations which were made by the Supreme Court in the same.
Yes, you are right. Supreme Court had yesterday, slammed the Karnataka government's scrapping of 4% quota for Muslims, but just stopped short of staying it. This after the government gave an assurance, the government in fact gave an assurance that nothing irreversible, that is, no appointments or admissions will happen between yesterday and Tuesday, when the Supreme Court will hear the matter next. And as you rightly said, the government has been asked to file a detailed affidavit justifying the scrapping of the 4% quota for Muslims. Now, in fact, as you rightly said, the Supreme Court made some very stinging observations, saying that Muslims have been enjoying this reservation since long, and the government order is based on fallacious presumptions, and foundation of the government's decision-making process is flawed and shaky, and the order is in the teeth of commission reports, and in a way the government has put the three commission reports in dustbin. This is what the Supreme Court said. And Supreme Court was in fact inclined to stay the order, but the Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, who appeared for the government, gave assurance that nothing irreversible will happen between yesterday and today. In fact, until the next date of hearing. Remember, a Muslim individual from Bellary had moved the Supreme Court. The court was hearing a petition challenging Karnataka government's March 25 decision to scrap 4% OBC reservation for Muslims. And the Dushan Deve, who appeared for the petitioner, said 50 years after reservation was given, reservation for Muslims is being taken away ahead of election and given to Vokaligas and Lingayas. It is in violation of the Indira Sani judgment of Supreme Court, and this court should not note that this was done 2 days before the elections were announced. But Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, who appeared for the Karnataka government, vehemently argued that state needs time to respond. Supreme Court cannot stay the order like this, and the Chinnapareddy report did not say Muslims are backward, and wanted more time to place an affidavit before the court. So the court has given time till Tuesday. The Solicitor General also said that Muslims who are OBCs are already getting reservations. Muslim OBC, there should not be a religious-based reservation, and the court should not pass any order without allowing the state to file a detailed affidavit. So all eyes hearing on which will happen on Tuesday, now April 18th. On that day, the Karnataka government has to file an affidavit justifying the order scrapping the 4% quota for the Muslims. Back to you.
All right. Thank you for joining us with all these details. We'll shift our